Have you ever found yourself in what I call the filmmaker's paradox? You have a camera that can shoot in 8K. You've watched 1,000 tutorials on color grading, sound design, and cinematic lighting. Your hard drive is a graveyard of brilliant ideas and half-finished projects. Yet, when you look at your career, it feels like it's stuck in neutral. You're spinning your wheels, consuming endless content about making films, but not actually making the one thing that matters: progress. If this sounds painfully familiar, you are in exactly the right place. And if you are genuinely serious about breaking through that wall, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Think of it as your first act of commitment, not to me, but to yourself. Because today, we're not just talking about theories. We're talking about the fundamental actions that separate the dreamers from the doers, the collectors from the creators. Over years of working in this industry and mentoring countless aspiring artists, I've noticed a pattern. It's a vast divide that separates the 90% who stay stuck from the 10% who seem to have a secret map to success. Let's paint a picture of these two filmmakers. The first, let's call them the collector, is brilliant. They collect gear, they collect tutorials, they collect ideas in a pristine notebook. They're waiting for the perfect project, the perfect client, the perfect inspiration to strike. Their work is always hypothetical, always. One day. They talk a great game, but their portfolio is thin because they're paralyzed by the fear that what they create won't be as good as the version in their head. Their career is a museum of potential. Then there's the second filmmaker. Let's call them the creator. The creator might have started with less gear, less knowledge, and less of a grand plan. But they have one habit that changes everything: they finish things. They shoot, they edit, they export, and they publish. Their early work might be clumsy, the lighting might be off, the story might be simple. But with every finished project, a powerful loop begins. They learn a real lesson, not a theoretical one. They build a tangible piece for their portfolio. And most importantly, they build momentum. While the collector is still polishing their grand idea, the creator has already built a small body of work, a network, and a reputation for being someone who gets things done. One went from a dead-end job to shooting for their dream brands in 18 months. The other is still watching YouTube videos about it. The secret isn't some God-given talent or a hidden trust fund. It boils down to two core principles. And if you apply them, I guarantee you will leave 90% of the competition in the dust. The first principle is the most important, and it is brutally simple: your only currency is your output. Ideas are worthless without execution. A great camera is just a paperweight if it's not recording. The single biggest mistake I see aspiring filmmakers make is waiting for permission. They're waiting for a client to hire them, a mentor to discover them, or a grant to fund them. You have to flip this entire mindset on its head. You don't get the opportunity and then do the work. You do the work, and that creates the opportunity. Your portfolio is your only resume. Your finished films are your only business card. The phrase, "show, don't tell," is the gospel of our craft, and it applies to your career just as much as your storytelling. Don't tell me you're passionate about documentary filmmaking. Show me the short doc you made about the old man who runs the local bookstore. Don't tell me you want to shoot commercials. Show me a spec ad you created for your favorite pair of sneakers. I faced this myself. Years ago, I wanted to transition from doing corporate talking head videos into more narrative, cinematic work. I sent my reel to dozens of creative agencies. The response? Crickets. Why? Because my reel showed I could do corporate work. It didn't prove I could tell a story. So I took a weekend. I grabbed two friends, a single light, and we shot a 3-minute silent film in my apartment. It was raw. It wasn't perfect. But it was proof. It was a key. I'd put that one tiny, self-funded project at the front of my reel and send it out again. Suddenly, the doors started to open. People didn't need to imagine if I could do it. They could see it. You must prove your ambition. Create the work you want to be hired for, even if no one is paying you. That is how you build the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Now, let's assume you're doing that. You're consistently creating. You're building your portfolio. What's next? This brings us to the second principle, the one that amplifies everything else, mastering the art of the follow-up. You've heard the cliché. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's true, but it's incomplete. The full truth is, it's who knows you, and what they think of when they hear your name. Most filmmakers are terrible at this. They'll send one cold email or one Instagram DM, and when they get no response, they retreat, feeling rejected. They think, well, I tried. They're not interested. This is a colossal mistake. In this business, a lack of response doesn't always mean no. More often than not, it means I'm busy. Or I don't know who you are yet. It's a test of your resolve. Let me show you what real networking looks like. I once targeted a production company whose work I deeply admired. I crafted the perfect introductory email. Their response? A polite but clear, "Thanks, but we're swamped right now." The 90% filmmaker stops here. But I set a calendar reminder. 1 month later, I sent a follow-up. I didn't ask for a job. I simply shared a new short film I had just finished and said, "I know you're busy, but I just finished this project that was inspired by your style, and thought you might enjoy it." I was offering value, not just asking for it. The response? "Looks great, we'll keep you in mind." Another polite brush off. So I set another reminder. 2 months later, another follow-up. It took 8 months and 4 points of contact before I got an invitation for coffee. That coffee turned into a freelance editing gig 3 months after that. It took almost a full year of patient, respectful, value-driven persistence to get one foot in the door. This isn't about being annoying. It's about being professionally persistent. It's about understanding that the people you want to work with are incredibly busy, and your job is to stay on their radar in a positive way. One email is a whisper. A series of thoughtful follow-ups over time is a conversation. It shows that you're not just a fleeting amateur with a whim. You are a serious professional who is committed for the long haul. That persistence, combined with a portfolio of work you're consistently creating, is an unstoppable combination. It tells the world you're not just talking about it, you're being about it. So let's be honest. How hard have you really tried? Have you finished a project in the last month? Have you followed up with that contact who gave you a polite no 6 weeks ago? The gap between the filmmaker you are today and the filmmaker you dream of becoming is measured in finished projects and persistent follow-ups. That's it. That's the formula. Stop collecting and start creating. Stop waiting and start connecting. The work is hard, the journey is long, but the path is not a mystery. You now have the map. Your competition is waiting for permission. They're waiting for things to be easy. You don't have to. The top 10% is waiting for you. Now go make something.